स्वागत छ तपाईहरुलाई शिक्षक सेवा आयोग तयारी कक्षाको नयाँ श्रृङ्खलामा। गुड मर्निङ, यु आर वेलकम टु द न्यू एपिसोड अफ टिचर सर्भिस कमिसन एक्जामिनेसन प्रिपरेसन। साथीहरु, तपाईहरुको लागि मैले शिक्षक सेवा आयोगको दोस्रो पत्र विषयगत जानकारी, विषयगत पाठ्यक्रममा आधारित भएर विभिन्न सामग्रीहरू प्रस्तुत गर्दैछु र योभन्दा अघिल्लो भिडियोमा तपाईहरुको लागि मैले ल्याङ्ग्वेज स्किल्सको डेफिनेसन, त्यसको इन्ट्रोडक्सन र हाउ टु टिच लिसनिङ स्किल भनेर तपाईहरुलाई मैले विभिन्न एक्टिभिटीहरू देखाइसकेको छु। यसको बारेमा एक्सप्लेनेसन गरिसकेको छु। आजको क्लासमा आई विल फोकस अन स्पिकिङ स्किल। एज यु नो, तपाईलाई थाहा छँदैछ देयर आर 4 ल्याङ्ग्वेज स्किल्स एन्ड स्पिकिङ इज one of the very important language skill. It is called it's also called a productive skill and it's a primary language skill. So first of all, I will talk about what is speaking skill. Then I will give you some hints, some ideas about teaching speaking skill. So speaking is one of the most important primary and productive skills, language skills. So it simply refers to, speaking simply means expressing ideas, thoughts, information, message, etc. fluently and effectively. So in other words, speaking means being able to communicate a message. And so what is teaching speaking? के हो त teaching speaking भनेको? The teaching speaking skill means enabling, making the second language learners able to communicate, able to speak in the targeted language. Here, second language learners, we Nepalese are the second language learners. I mean, Nepali student भनेका English हाम्रो लागि यो second language हो. We are second language learners for English. So the aim of, what's the major aim of teaching speaking? The major aim, the aim of teaching speaking to the students is to enable them, so सक्षम बनाउने, enable the learners to speak in the second language. So speaking skills are also defined as the skills which allow us to communicate effectively. यसको कम्युनिकेसन इफेक्टिभली कम्युनिकेसन गराउनु नै एउटा यो स्किलको एउटा हाम्रो ल्याङ्ग्वेज स्किल, टिचिङ स्पिकिङ स्किलको एउटा पर्पस हो, यसको उद्देश्य हो भने. So speaking is an interactive process, a productive skill हो हैन. So whatever we listen, हामीले listening गरेर we get input of language हैन. We understand something through listening and we speak as per our listening. We get knowledge, we get ideas, so many things through listening and speaking बाट we produce the things. So in the same way अब हामी, so what are the 4 elements of speaking skill? आइदिन सक्छ एक्जाममा. Speaking skill का एलिमेन्ट्सहरु छन्. There are some very important elements of speaking skill हैन. त्यसमा first of all vocabulary is very important. Vocabulary simply means word meaning, the knowledge of word meaning. So without word meanings we cannot produce anything. We need word meanings to speak in English, to speak in any language. So vocabulary is one of the very important elements of speaking skill. In the same way, grammar is very also important. Without grammar we cannot produce correct sentence. Without the knowledge of grammar we are unable to make sentences. So grammar teaches us structures, grammar teaches rules, grammar teaches us how to speak any language correctly, accurately भन्ने सिकाउँछ. So speaking skill को एउटा एलिमेन्ट भनेको vocabulary पछि के हो? ग्रामर हो हैन. We arrange the words. Whenever vocabulary, just knowledge of vocabulary is not sufficient. Vocabulary शब्द अर्थले हामीलाई ओर्थ दिन्छ, तर how to organize them, how to arrange them, this is all about grammar हैन. Grammar teaches us arranging, how to arrange the words into correct sentence, correct patterns भन्ने कुरा सिकाउँछ. अनि pronunciation is very important हैन, because wrong pronunciation gives wrong message, wrong meaning. So correct pronunciation is very important for transferring, for transmitting, for correct meaning ko लागि. Without good pronunciation, people, the native speaker, they don't understand our language. They don't understand what we mean to say. हामीले जे भन्न चाहेको त्यो बुझ्दैनन्. सो इट इज भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट element of speaking skill. So correct pronunciation is very important element of speaking skill. Next one, fluency. Fluency means you are speaking naturally. Okay, speaking English language has rhythm, has intonation patterns. There is a fall and rise of voice in English while we speak English. So fluency means speaking with correct stress and intonation patterns. This is called fluency. So these four elements are very important elements of speaking skill. Now teaching speaking skill कसरी पढाउने त teaching speaking, what are the aspects of teaching speaking skill भन्ने भनेको छ. So the same thing यहाँ छ हैन. Speaking skills are defined as the skills which allow us to communicate effectively. मैले तपाईलाई यो पनि अगाडि पनि भनिसकेँ हैन. So whenever we teach speaking skill, we should focus, we should teach our students about speech sounds हैन चाहिँ. Speaking skills शिक्षण गर्नुपर्दा, बोलाइ शिक्षण गर्नुपर्दा स्टुडेन्टहरूलाई we have to teach them, we must teach them speech sounds, sound patterns, connected speech, stress, intonation patterns, rhythm of the second language, pitch, rising and falling, everything. They are very important. They are the important parts, important elements of speaking skill. हामीले अघि 4 elements भन्यौँ, त्यो भन्दा पनि अरू कुराहरू पनि हुन्छ त्यहाँनिर हैन. So and in the same way, whenever we teach speaking, we should also take social setting into consideration. We have to understand the social situation, audience, कस्तो audience, what is the subject matter. So they are also very important, and we have to teach accordingly. In the next one, meaning is very important. Speaking मात्रै गरेर हुन्न, meaning also छैन. Whatever we speak, the message, the utterances, the expression should have a certain message, should give a certain meaning. Then only speaking skill is developed. So problems with teaching speaking skills, there are some problems. Whenever we teach speaking skill, students face some problems, and we teachers face some problems whenever we teach speaking skill. So what are the problems? Why are we unable to teach students speaking skills? Why? What are the problems? के छन् त भन्ने कुरामा we'll discuss गर्छौं. Okay, so speaking, there are some certain problems. Example तपाईलाई what are the problems to teach speaking skill भनेर आइदिन सक्छ. यस्तो बेलामा there are so many problems. I have listed some of the very important one. Inhibition. Inhibition means a kind of hesitation. Students, they feel hesitation. They hesitate to speak English because they are afraid of making mistakes. They think that they will make mistakes, so they don't like to speak. So inhibition is a kind of hesitation, is a kind of shyness, it is a kind of लाज मान्ने के हैन, त्यो खालको बोल्न नचाहने, हिचकिच गर्ने. So this is a problem we often face while teaching speaking. Our students, they hardly feel confident to speak. एकदम बिरलै कन्फिडेन्ट हुन्छन्. कम स्टुडेन्ट मात्रै बोल्न चाहन्छन्. Most of them don't like to speak in English because they think that they will make mistakes. त्यो चाहिँ प्रब्लम छ भने. अर्को चाहिँ low or uneven participation. So some students don't like to participate in speaking activities. So we can design so many speaking activities like peer work, group discussion. We teachers can engage them in different conversations, in group discussion. But the students, only few students participate actively, and most of the students, they don't like to participate. So participation nagगर्ने, this is very this is a very challenging issue, because speaking skill is developed only through speaking. Speaking skill is developed by speaking itself. Speaking develop गर्नलाई speaking गर्नुपर्छ, but our students, they don't like to speak in English. Third point is mother tongue use. So our students, they answer our questions. We teachers can ask them in English. We ask them about so many things in English, but they tend to, and they like to answer it in Nepali, in their own mother tongue. This is a kind of obstacle, a kind of problem. So I have already told you, तपाईलाई मैले भनेको छु, listening skill develop गर्न पनि students should listen as much as is possible. They should listen, a lot. Speaking skill develop गर्न पनि the students should speak a lot. The teachers should provide so many opportunities to speak. So mother tongue युज गर्नु पनि दिस इज एन अब्स्ट्याकल फर स्पिकिङ, फर डेभलपिङ स्पिकिङ स्किल होइन। हाम्रो स्टुडेन्टहरूले मदर टङ प्रयोग गर्ने, दे रिप्लाई आवर क्वेरिज इन मदर टङ, द्याट्स अ काइन्ड अफ प्रब्लम। नेक्स्ट वान इज ल्याक अफ कन्फिडेन्स इन स्पिकिङ इङ्ग्लिस ल्याङ्ग्वेज। सो स्टुडेन्ट्स have they feel the lack of confidence, they don't have confidence, they are confident in speaking Nepali, but in English, whenever they have to speak English, when they need to speak English, they are not confident, so they lose confidence. As a result, they don't speak and there is no development of speaking skill. This is another issue. So the next issue is shyness, जुन हामीले अघि पनि भनिसक्यौँ, shyness होइन। Students feel shy and they are ashamed of speaking English, लाज मान्ने, because they think that they will make mistakes, टिचरले पनि होइन, साथीहरूबाट पनि सरम मान्ने बोल्नलाई, that's a kind of problem, another problem भने I have already discussed, we have already talked about fear of making mistake. एउटा मेन प्रब्लम यही हो है, मिस्टेक गर्ने भन्ने डरले नै स्टुडेन्टले के गर्छन्, they don't like to speak English. But we teachers should engage them in speaking activities by convincing them that mistakes are learning opportunities. Mistake भनेका सिक्ने अवसर हो भनेर कन्भिन्स गर्नुपर्छ। र नेक्स्ट वान इज ल्याक अफ मोटिभेसन इन स्टुडेन्ट्स। स्टुडेन्ट्स have the lack of motivation. We are unable to motivate them to speak in English. Sometimes we are unable, sometimes the students are not motivated internally, होइन। Motivation plays a very important role in learning, but students, they only few students have motivation. Most of the students, they don't have any motivation to learn English, to speak English. So it is very important to arouse a kind of motivation in them, होइन। यसै प्रेरित नहुने, स्टुडेन्टले किन इङ्ग्लिस बोल्ने भन्ने प्रेरणा नपाउने हुँदाखेरि पनि इङ्ग्लिस ल्याङ्ग्वेज टिचिङ गर्न प्रब्लम भइरहेछ। So now very important question तपाईँलाई आउने भनेको, what are the activities and techniques to teach speaking skill? Speaking skill टिचिङ गर्ने एक्टिभिटिज के गर्न सकिन्छ? Write any 5 activities or techniques to teach speaking skill in the primary level, होइन, in the basic level, in the to the students of grade 7, grade 6 भनेर आइदिन सक्छ, यस्ता क्वेसन आउन सक्छ। So how to do? So there are so many activities. The teacher can design so many activities, techniques to teach students speaking. The first one is very common one, is role play. So role play is one of the very easy techniques. In this in this technique, the teacher asks students to play certain roles. For example, doctor, patient, होइन, यस्तो रोल गर्न सकिन्छ। So they can speak. So role play is one of the easiest technique we can just adopt, we can follow to teach speaking skill to the students of any level, होइन। यसमा role play मा what happens, we give certain roles to the students, होइन, and we give certain expressions, certain structures, and they follow the role and they act. And next technique छ simulation. This is just like role play, but in this technique the role is just like a real one, होइन, रियल जस्तै हुन्छ। यहाँ जस्तो रोल प्लेमा के हुन्छ भने, स्टुडेन्ट्स प्ले द रोल इन द युनिफर्म, एज अ स्टुडेन्ट्सको रूपमा प्ले गर्छन् भने इन क्लासरुम। इन सिमुलेसन, दिस इज द रोल इन दिस सिमुलेसन रोल प्ले इज जस्ट लाइक दिस इज अ बिट रियल हुन्छ। जस्तो सपोज स्टुडेन्ट एन्ड if the role is about, if the acting is about between doctor and patient, स्टुडेन्टले के गर्छन्, त्यहाँ डक्टरको ड्रेस लगाएको, स्टेथोस्कोप बोकेको, पेसेन्ट जस्तो फिलिङ भएको, पेसेन्ट जस्तो ड्रेसमा गएको। सो इट इज मो होइन आर्टिफिसियल एन्ड इट्स मोर जस्ट लाइक नेचुरल। आर्टिफिसियल भन्दा पनि यो नेचुरल जस्तो हुन्छ। रोल प्ले भन्दा यो अझै के हुन्छ, अझै यो इन्ट्रेस्टिङ खालको हुन्छ है। इन्भाइरोमेन्ट त्यस्तै क्रिएट हुन्छ। इन्फर्मेसन ग्याप, दिस इज very important one and useful one, not only to teach speaking, it's also very important to teach other language skills. In this activity, students are given some students are given certain information and other students don't know the information, and the students who know the information, they share the information, they share the message to other students. त्यस कारणले के हुन्छ, they have to speak, बोल्नै पर्छ यहाँ। So information भएका स्टुडेन्टले इन्फर्मेसन नजानेको लागि सेयरिङ गर्नु पर्दाखेरि के हुन्छ भने दे हेभ टु स्पिक होइन कुनै कुराको म्यासेज टिचरले केही फ्यु स्टुडेन्टलाई दिन्छ जानकारी दिनुहुन्छ भने त्यो फ्यु स्टुडेन्टले चाहिँ अरू फ्रेन्डहरूलाई इन्फर्मेसन सेयरिङ गर्ने काम गर्छन् इन इङ्ग्लिसमा इट्स भेरी इन्ट्रेस्टिङ वान एन्ड ब्रेन स्टर्मिङ this is also student center technique in this technique or activity students are given a topic and they are asked to think about the topic के बारेमा टपिक बारेमा सोच्न दिइन्छ मस्तिष्क मन्थन भनिन्छ नि कुनै एउटा टपिकको बारेमा आइडिया निकाल्न दिइन्छ they write something or they think about the idea about the topic and they express they produce whatever they have come up in their mind होइन आफ्नो दिमागमा जे कुरा आउँछ त्यो कुरा सेयरिङ गर्ने काम गर्छन् होइन दिस इज भेरी इन्ट्रेस्टिङ सो स्टोरी टेलिङ इज अल्सो भेरी इन्ट्रेस्टिङ टेक्निक टु टिच स्पिकिङ स्किल टु द स्टुडेन्ट्स लभ स्टोरी टेलिङ स्टुडेन्ट लभ रिडिङ लिसनिङ एन्ड सेयरिङ द स्टोरिज होइन सो टिचर आस्क द स्टुडेन्ट्स टु narrate to retell to narrate the story they like इन इङ्ग्लिस होइन टिचरले स्टुडेन्टलाई आफूले जाने स्टोरी इङ्ग्लिसमा साथीहरूलाई बता भनेर भन्न सकिन्छ सो स्टुडेन्ट्स दे लाइक टु ओके सेयर द स्टोरिज सो दे क्यान मेक सम मिस्टेक्स बट द मिस्टेक्स आर पार्डन हियर मिस्टेक्स आर एक्सक्युज हियर मिस्टेकलाई हेरिँदैन यार वाट एभर दे स्पिकिङ स्किल इज अ बिट डेभलप्ड इन थ्रु दिस टेक्निक इन्टरभ्युज होइन दिस इज अल्सो teacher center always you can see this is also very interesting in the interview teacher asks or whether their friends group पनि गराउन सकिन्छ teacher asks certain question to the students and the students answer this question यसो गर्दाखेरि स्टुडेन्टले बोल्नै पर्ने हुन्छ it creates an obligation to speak होइन teacher can ask very simple questions and the student answer them the teacher can ask other creative questions and the student try to answer so interview is also very important and effective to teach speaking skill and a picture description or an event description in this activity the teacher can give them a picture or the students can bring the picture objects and they start describing the pictures this is all picture description describing other things all things सबै कुरा डिस्क्राइब गर्ने कुराहरू आफूसँग भएको कुरा डिस्क्राइब गर्न सक्छौँ this is also interesting so these are some of the major techniques and activities a teacher can follow can adopt can design to teach speaking skill to the students of any level so what is the role of teacher while teaching language skills especially speaking skill के भूमिका खेल्छ टिचरको कस्तो भूमिका हुन्छ त स्पिकिङ स्किल सिकाउनको लागि अथवा ल्याङ्ग्वेज स्किलमा टिचिङ गर्दाखेरि भन्दाखेरि फर्स्ट अफ अल टिचर इज अ फेसिलिटेटर तपाईँहरूले बुझ्नु पऱ्यो टिचर इज अ फेसिलिटेटर टिचर सुड रिड्युस हिज टकिङ टाइम एन्ड टिचर सुड इन्करेज स्टुडेन्ट्स टु टक इन्करेज स्टुडेन्ट्स टु स्पिक सो द रोल अफ टिचर इज अ फेसिलिटेटर हुन्छ इज अ म्यानेजर हुन्छ इज अ कोअर्डिनेटर हुन्छ इज अ फ्रेन्ड हुन्छ होइन सो फर्स्ट अफ अल भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट थिङ इन द्याट इन्भाइरोमेन्ट क्रिएट गर्नु भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट हुन्छ र फर्स्ट वर्क द टिचरले गर्ने भनेको provide the teacher should provide maximum opportunity to students to speak in the target language the teacher should create such an environment such a very conducive environment in which the student can speak the students feel an urge to speak बोल्नै पर्ने खालको इन्भाइरोमेन्ट क्रिएट गर्छ टिचरले and this is very very important होइन टिचर also can bring some authentic materialsहरू authentic भनेको रियल लाइफमा हुने खालको मेटेरियल्सहरू टिचर क्यान ब्रिङ होइन द टिचर क्यान गिभ देम सर्टेन ट्याक्सहरू द टिचर होइन जस्तो खालको ट्याक्स बेस्ड वर्क गर्न सकिन्छ इन वाइल कम्प्लिटिङ द वर्क द स्टुडेन्ट्स सुड टक इन इङ्ग्लिसमै गर्नुपर्ने खालको अनि नेक्स्ट वान इज टिचर सुड ट्राई टु इन्भल्भ इच स्टुडेन्ट इन स्पिकिङ एक्टिभिटीमा प्रत्येक स्टुडेन्टलाई स्पिकिङ एक्टिभिटीमा engage गराउनु पर्ने इट्स भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट रोल अफ टिचर इट्स भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट ड्युटी अफ द टिचर टु टिच स्पिकिङ स्किल भने नेक्स्टमा आई हेभ अलरेडी टोल्ड यु द टिचर सुड रिड्युस हिज टाइम टकिङ टाइम आफ्नो टकिङ टाइमलाई रिड्युस गर्ने एन्ड द टिचर सुड डिजाइन सच एक्टिभिटिज विच दिज एक्टिभिटिज सुड मोटिभेट स्टुडेन्ट्स टु स्पिक अ लट यो चाहिँ भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट हुन्छ अनि In the same way, teachers should congratulate them. Teachers should respond their queries. The teachers should encourage them. The teachers should not correct their mistakes. At once student they correct mistake nagर्ने. Teachers should create such an environment in which the student feel relaxed to speak. आनन्दको वातावरण सिर्जना गर्ने जहाँ स्टुडेन्टले बोल्नु इङ्ग्लिसमा मात्रै बोल्नु होइन. सो त्यस्तो क्रिएट गर्नुपर्छ भने टिचरले उनीहरूको रेस्पोन्सलाई उनीहरूको राम्रोको लागि प्रेज गर्नु प्रशंसा गर्नु पऱ्यो भने गरियो भने अझै राम्रो हुन्छ. सो द टिचरले क्यान से ओ भेरी नाइस, वाट अ नाइस जब, कति राम्रो गर्यो, कति राम्रो, वाट नाइस वर्ड्स भन्न सक्छ होइन. र स्टुडेन्टका मिस्टेकहरूलाई सामान्य ग्रामको मिस्टेकलाई कमेन्ट गर्नु, त्यसलाई ओभर करेक्सन गर्नु हुँदैन. सो ओभर करेक्सन होइन क्यान मेक द स्टुडेन्ट्स हेजिटेट टु स्पिक. स्टुडेन्ट्सलाई ओभर करेक्सन भयो भने हेजिटेट गर्न सक्छ ओभर करेक्सनले. ओभर करेक्सन सुड बी ओके, सुड नट बी मेड. करेक्सन पनि गर्नु भने तत्कालै करेक्सन गर्नु पनि राम्रो मानिँदैन. बिकज स्टुडेन्ट्स दे वान्ट टु स्पिक, बट वेन एभर वी आस्क देम, वेन एभर वी गिभ देम इमिडिएट फिडब्याक दियो भने स्टुडेन्ट्स थिङ्क ओ आई एम रङ भन्ने सोच्छन्, तिनीहरू बोल्न चाहन्नन्. अनि इन द सेम वे teachers should monitor all the students, or the teachers should engage them in different group work, peer works in यस्तो यो फाइनली भन्दाखेरि टिचरले के गर्ने भन्दाखेरि the teachers should create an environment. The teachers should give them certain tasks, certain jobs, certain duties, and in this duty, to fulfill the duties, students should talk in English. Student इङ्ग्लिसमै बोल्नुपर्ने खालको इन्भाइरोमेन्ट क्रिएट गर्नुपर्छ. जस्तै अघि हामीले भनेको पिक्चर डिस्क्राइब गर्न लगाउने, न्यारेट स्टोरी टेलिङ गर्न लगाउने होइन. त्यसै गरी रोल प्लेमा, ग्रुप वर्कमा, ग्रुप डिस्कसनमा, ब्रेन स्टर्मिङमा होइन, क्विक राइट गर्न लगाउने, इन द सेम वे क्विक स्पिक गर्न लगाउने होइन, कुनै सर्टेन स्ट्रक्चर दिएर बोल्न लगाउने. दिस इज भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट टेक्निक. दिज आर भेरी युजफुल एक्टिभिटिज. साथीहरू, म तपाईँलाई अलिक फास्ट भने जस्तो लाग्यो. ठिक छ, तपाईँलाई अर्को दिन फेरि म अरू रिडिङ एन्ड राइटिङ, हाउ टु टिच रिडिङ एन्ड राइटिङ, वाट आर द एक्टिभिटिज, वाट आर द टेक्निक्स विच आर युजफुल टु टिच रिडिङ एन्ड राइटिङ भनेर एउटा नयाँ लेसन लिएर आउनेछु. थ्याङ्क यू फर वाचिङ, थ्याङ्क यू फर लिसनिङ, थ्याङ्क यू फर बिङ विथ मी. सी यु अगेन, बाई.